On February 11th, Elon Musk went to a press conference at the White House with his 4-year-old son, Little X. The meeting was about signing some executive orders related to the Department of Government Efficiency. Honestly, I don't really get why Little X had to be there, but there he was anyway. During the conference, while Elon was talking to the press, Little X whispered something pretty wild, some speculating that he leaned towards Trump and said, "You're not president, you need to go away."
Presidency is to restore democracy.
Then he starts repeating his father words, annoying and disturbing the whole conference.
Don't have a feedback loop. Okay, X. We'd have to, if you
A little later, he whispered again, "I want you to shush your f***ing mouth."
This is, from one year to the next, are the same?
The internet went nuts after that. People were saying Little X was probably repeating stuff he heard at home, stuff his dad taught him. Memes started flying around roasting Trump and Little X. Here's something weirder than this. Little X was at the Oval Office, and I seriously can't figure out what a little kid like him could possibly add there. But Elon brought him anyway. And it's not just the Oval Office. Lil X is everywhere with Elon. Elon Musk has more than 14 kids, but he specifically chooses Lil X to show off in public. What he wants from Lil X. Little X is the 7th kid in Elon's lineup. His first public appearance with Elon was back on November 17th, 2021, during a virtual SpaceX meeting. Elon was talking to engineers and Little X was just chilling on his lap. Since then, Elon took him to a bunch of high-profile events: Time Person of the Year event, Brothers of Italy conference in Rome, meeting with the Turkish president, Trump election night victory rally at Mar-a-Lago, Florida, Trump's pre-inauguration ceremony, Capitol Hill meeting, Washington, D.C., meeting with the Indian Prime Minister, the Oval Office press conference, and tons more. Grimes, Little X's mom, wasn't exactly thrilled about her son being at the White House. She said publicly, "He should not be in public like this. I didn't see this, thanks for alerting me. At least he was polite." Sigh. That was her reaction to finding out from someone else about her kid. Grimes, who's a Canadian singer-songwriter, has 3 kids with Elon: X Ash A-12, known as Little X, Exa Dark Sideroll, nicknamed Y, and Tau Techno Mechanicus. Y and Tau stay with Grimes, but Elon keeps Little X close and even restricts Grimes from visiting him often. Little X and Elon have this super close bond. Elon's biographer Walter Isaacson even described Little X as a sort of emotional comfort for Elon. When Elon was a kid in South Africa, his life was pretty rough. He had a distant mom, a harsh dad, and dealt with a lot of bullying. As an adult, working constantly on Tesla, SpaceX, and X made his relationships tough, leading to breakups like the one with Grimes, and left him pretty isolated despite his success. So this loneliness is probably why Elon leans on Little X emotionally, even calling him his emotional support human. Taking Little X to events like the Oval Office meeting or SpaceX launches makes Elon feel good, giving him a break from his stressful life. Isaacson says Little X provides pure love, filling up the emotional emptiness Elon's felt for years. That's why Elon takes him everywhere, but honestly, does that explanation totally convince you? Sure, emotional support makes sense, but it still doesn't explain why Elon takes Little X specifically to these serious official events. Hanging out at home or even at work, rocket launches, dinner, bedtime, those things totally make sense. But taking a little kid to an Oval Office press conference just doesn't add up. I have one more theory that people think is true. Elon Musk used to be celebrated as this genius visionary, but around 2018, his image started to slip, getting a lot worse around 2020. His $44 billion Twitter purchase was a big turning point. He made controversial decisions, mass layoffs, reinstating banned accounts, weird content policies that made him look erratic. By 2022, a Pew Research survey showed 54% of Americans viewed him negatively, completely flipping his earlier tech hero status. If you watch closely, you'll notice Musk uses Little X strategically to distract from negative press by showing him off during controversies, like in 2024 when Tesla's stock crashed. Little X's cute appearance at a PBS event shifted the narrative positively. During the Doge controversy in 2025, Little X took center stage at the Oval Office, earning Elon positive headlines like "Elon's a super dad." In 2023, Lil X at an Italy conference softened Musk's image amid Twitter drama. Kurt Braddock, a communications expert, called this move classic politician stuff to make Musk seem more relatable. Lots of people believe this theory, but there's still something missing. It doesn't totally explain why Elon always chooses Little X. Little X might distract people or humanize Elon temporarily, but nobody's really forgetting the real issues just because little X shows up jumping around. People are not that stupid. I heard one theory that makes a lot of sense. It actually ties everything together when you look from Elon's perspective. Elon Musk's biggest goal is huge, making humans multiplanetary by colonizing Mars and protecting humanity from extinction. He's been dreaming about this since he was young, inspired by science fiction books and the idea of humanity reaching beyond Earth. He's put everything into SpaceX, dedicating endless hours, resources, and energy into making Mars colonization a real possibility. But Elon knows he won't see humans fully colonize Mars in his lifetime. He's just laying the groundwork, creating the technology and infrastructure needed to start the process. That's exactly where little X fits in, to carry forward this massive multi-generational mission after Elon. Elon sees something special in little X, someone who shares his passion and vision. Little X's first 3 words were literally cars, rockets, and daddy. Clearly he's already on board. Back in 2014, Elon created a special school called A-Xii, designed specifically for his kids and others close to him. At A-Xii, students focus on solving real-world problems, learning through first principles thinking, leadership, and innovation. It's nothing like traditional schooling. It's tailored to cultivate future leaders who think exactly like Elon. By bringing little X to important places, like the Oval Office where Trump praised him as a high IQ individual, or Capitol Hill, Elon is purposely exposing him to high-stakes environments from a young age. He's teaching little X essential leadership, communication, and problem-solving skills firsthand. Elon's strategically showing investors, the public, and global leaders that little X is not just his kid, but humanity's next leader. Even Grimes confirmed that Elon genuinely sees little X as his protege. Now you might wonder, why only little X and not his other 13 kids? Here's how it breaks down clearly. Elon's first child, Nevada Alexander, sadly passed away at just 10 weeks due to sudden infant death syndrome. Then he had twins, Xavier and Griffin, both now 21 years old. Xavier has since changed his name to Vivian and has cut ties with Elon, no longer recognizing him as her father. Next came triplets in 2006, who are now around 19 years old, grown enough to have their own independent lives. Little X arrived in 2020, followed closely by Y and Tao in 2021, who currently live with their mother, Grimes. Elon also has 5 more children, 2 are under 3 years old, and the remaining 3 aren't even a year old yet. Looking closely, Elon's 4 oldest kids have already developed their own identities and lives independently. Elon didn't have strong emotional connections with them because of his constant work commitments. His younger children are still babies or toddlers, way too young to start preparing for leadership. Little X is just the right age. At 5, he's old enough for Elon to form a deep emotional bond with him, yet young enough to mold into someone who could genuinely follow in his footsteps. Honestly, I think this theory makes the most sense. Let me know what you think in the comments and subscribe for more updates on what's really happening in the world.